Story time on why you should be really careful about who you're dating. So, this is a true story, friend of a friend kind of thing. There was a young girl, she lived in New York City, and she was on a dating app and matched with this. Young guy. He seemed like a really great person. He had his stuff together, good job, lived local to the area. They talked for a few weeks. Everything was going really great. No red flags, all of that good stuff. He decides to ask her out one night, and they end up going to, she agrees, they end up going to this really nice restaurant. He pays, he's a gentleman, he's nice to wait staff. They wrap up the night, and they both go to their respective homes. And after she gets settled at her apartment, she gets a text from him saying that he lost his key, and he's trying to get a hold of his roommate. His roommate isn't home, but his roommate is also not answering. So he's kind of like stuck outside of his apartment. Just sort of like telling her that. And she just kind of figures, all right, I'll invite you over. So, maybe give him a little bit of time to figure out what's going on, either find his key or get in contact with his roommate. So he comes over to her apartment and they have, a really nice chat. They sit on the couch. Finally, she decides that she's going to go to bed. She doesn't know why, but she goes into her own bedroom, which has a door, and she ends up locking it. And it's just one of those things that she felt like she needed to do, which I totally like, new people in your space. Sometimes it's nice to just be extra cautious. So she goes to her bedroom, she locks the door, and he's sleeping on the couch. Around 3 a.m, she wakes up to a knocking on her door. It's her date. And he asks her if she has a cell phone charger because his cell phone is dead and he needs to charge it. This is the part where it gets like really crazy. So she tells him that she has one and it's on the kitchen counter. And she just tells him this through the door. She doesn't get up. She doesn't unlock the door. She doesn't go and find it for him. And I'm thinking to myself, if this was me, I would totally get up and grab it for the person and give it to them and then be like, all right, anything else? Good night. He says thank you. He goes, he grabs the charger, whatever. She doesn't know. She just goes right back to sleep. A few minutes later, he knocks on the door again. He said it's not working. And does she have one in her room? At this point, she's thinking that there's something up. She decides to call the police, which, once again, good for you, girl, for having the instinct to connect with the police. The police show up to the apartment. They knock on the door. She hears some commotion going on. And then she gets a knock on her bedroom door, because mind you, she hasn't come out this entire time. And it's a police officer. And he said, we've cleared the apartment. We have him in custody. We really need you to come out of your room so you can take a look at your apartment. She opens the door and walks out. And
what do you guys think? What do you guys think is about to happen? What do you guys think is about to happen? I'm going to give you guys a second. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think she's going to discover? You got it? Okay. Lock it in.
And she sees that her entire living room is plasticked. And there is a set of power tools sitting on the floor. This girl, because of her instinct to not open the door to a weird request for a phone charger in the middle of the night, saved her. Before you decide to take someone home or let them stay at your place, think twice about it.
I don't know who that snoring was in the background, man, but shout out for making the video still. Wow. That hearing that sounded like some Dexter shit. I mean, that was crazy. Damn, man. I'm so happy that woman avoided that. She just felt it was off. It was something off about it. The locking of the door, whatever. And it's just that quick. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about how men need to prove to women that they are not threats to them. We need to prove that to them. Something like paying for a date, things of that nature, being nice, being I know the date did all of that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like whatever. I'm saying no, but like that's a part, like that's also a part of it, like more in a long-term way. Also, this proves that you can't fucking vet. You can't vet. Unless you have hard line rules in place, right? then vetting really isn't real, right? Okay, so what I'm saying is like, if a woman was to be like, okay, I'm not going to sleep with a man until 6 months, until a year later, right? She's not vetting him necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, it's happening during that time, but she still can't really vet him. You know what I'm saying? But you would think that if you were to do that, you probably are going to remove most of the scragglers, most of the guys that just wanted to hit or whatever the case may be. You're probably going to get past the vast majority of them, you would think. It doesn't mean that the man that's left is actually like, you know, like the man that like wants to, you know, be with you or whatever, is not going to hurt her or anything like that. But it increases the chances that she's not dating some dude or she's not sleeping with some dude that just wants to hit it and quit it, right? Okay. But how many times have men been friends with a woman for 15 years just for the one opportunity to sleep with her? Like, men talk about that. It's not even something women have like said that's happened to them, even though they have. I'm saying, but like men have spoken about that many a times, many a times. Hit it and then don't be the woman's friend anymore. Like, nigga, men are diabolical. Men are diabolical. I've never heard of anything like this happening in the other way around. For all that it goes both ways, fucking both ways, bandits. How can it go both ways? I've never, ever been afraid of a woman in my life. Ever. Never had a reason to be afraid of a woman. I've never been afraid of my mom. I've never been afraid of any woman. I wasn't even afraid of a female police officer, and she was talking to me crazy. Like, I've just never been afraid of a woman. It doesn't mean that's not like any shade to women. It's just women don't scare me in that way. They don't. History tells me I probably don't have anything to fear. I probably don't have anything to fear. This woman is probably not going to try to just unalive me. She's probably not going to chop me up. She's not going to come in my apartment and fucking put plastic everywhere and then, you know, do God knows what to me and then cut me up in little pieces and store me in her refrigerator. Like, more than likely, 99.999999999% chance that shit ain't happening. Men, I'm not saying it's a high. I mean, it's too high of a chance, but if it's a 3%, that's fucking high. If it's a 2%, that's fucking high. 3 out of every 100,000, that's too much. Too many. It's too many. But I'm just happy that she survived it. This should be a warning, not to women necessarily, because like I'm saying, I'm not. It's not a warning to men necessarily. I won't say warning, but it just like I like these stories. I consume these stories and I share them with the men specifically so that men can see what women are saying about us. So that you can recognize what women are saying about us is actually true. It's not made up. It's women don't have to make up skits about the terrible things that men do. They could just tell their stories. Men have to make up all these dumbass fucking skits and, you know, and weird videos and shit like that. And we gotta lie on women. Women could just tell us exactly what happened. And I'm like, oh my God. How could that woman, like, after this dude got arrested, she has to move now, I would guess, because he ain't about to go to jail for no 50 years or nothing like that unless they find something else on him. But more than likely, he'll be out in a few months because he didn't do anything. That's the crazy part. He didn't do it yet. Right? I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie. I think it's called Minority Report. It is. It's called Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise. One of my favorite movies. It's a Steven Spielberg movie, so it's a really good movie. Well written, well produced, well directed. But anyways, they were arresting people before they committed crimes, right? And then they were locking them away forever, which is wrong. But they were, you know, arresting them before they committed the crime. But like, if you stop somebody before they do the thing, and it's like they were like. You should be able to be locked up as if you did the crime. Even if you haven't done it, as long as in the court of law, it can be proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that you were going to do that, because why else would he have those things? Like in that particular case, why else would he have gone through all of that trouble? To scare her? They were gonna play a game. They were gonna play Yahtzee. No, he was gonna kill her and chop her up. Period. He was gonna kill her and chop her up in her own house. That's it. That's the only plausible, reasonable explanation. Like, so yeah, lock his ass up. 30 years. Whatever he would have gotten for actually doing it, that's what he should get for being stopped, because he's gonna get out and he's gonna do it. If you lock that man up and he gets out in a year or 2 years, he's gonna get out and he is going to do it. No doubt about it. No question.